Good evening. Please stand for the flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start tonight with the superintendent's report.
Good evening to everyone for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to have you here. As spring has sprung, the good news is that we have one emergency day that we did not use in the calendar. So tonight, the board will be considering a motion for a calendar adjustment, meaning that our new day for all students is Wednesday, June 17th. It is the graduation date for FMS and the middle school stays the same. So FMS commencement ceremony will remain on June 17th, and the high school graduation will remain on the 18th. I hope everybody has noticed, if you've been traveling to FMS, that the turf field project is well underway with a projected completion date of August 15th to be ready for the fall sports season. So we encourage you in your travels to take a look. The project is progressing nicely. At the next one, we will be recognizing all of the individuals in the district who have submitted retirement after wonderful careers here in the district and also some other districts in the state. And we encourage you to join us. After celebrating our retirees, we are most excited to celebrate our seniors at our June meeting, where we will be offering some insights and presentation into the class of 2026 and their college and career outcomes. So we look forward to having you join us at those meetings, and thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nashi. In tonight's agenda is our listed for approval of retirement. And we cover the 28 years of service, 23 years, on total 23 years, and Edgar Davis 14 years. On behalf of the board, I would like to wish them good health and enjoyment during retirement. And some degree of structure in any organization is needed in order for meetings and operating procedures and policies to be followed. But so is flexibility. Tomorrow you will notice that the Board of Education voted to change the public comment portion of our meetings for after presentations to better meet our community's needs. So I would like to thank the Board of Education for their flexibility in approving this from tonight on. And that's my report.
Thank you.
And now we have the student committee reports. So we'll start with our ladies first.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Daisy Zhang, and along with my partner, Garrett Greger, we will be delivering tonight's student report.
Good evening, everyone. As far as spring sports are going, they're well underway. Most sports are in the midway portion of their season. The girls softball team is out to a 9-2 start on the year. And the girls lacrosse team is also off to a good start, sitting at a 6-4 record ahead of their game against Pingree this Tuesday. The boys volleyball team won a 2-0 game against Dover today and will look to go on a win streak against Del Barton later this week. Boys lacrosse, boys and girls golf, and boys tennis are in the middle of their seasons, with the boys tennis team off to a 7-3 start with a sweep against Pope John. Additionally, the track team recently went to the Penn Relays, one of the largest high school track events in the country, hosted at the University of Pennsylvania. This past week, the MHS Spectrum Jazz Ensemble won gold at West Milford and competed in state jazz finals for the 5th year in a row. The 33rd Annual Jazz Night is May 7th at 7 p.m. in the MHS Auditorium, where jazz ensembles from the district will be joined by special guests and a professional ensemble to perform with our music students. The final concerts this year for band and orchestra will be on the 19th and 21st, respectively.
Honor Society induction and senior court ceremonies have officially begun. International Thespian Society seniors received their yellow and blue cords on Friday, April 24th, with many more celebrations set for May, including the French Honor Society and National Honor Society. The Interact Club has a busy schedule ahead, hosting a variety of events this spring, including a bake sale and donation collection for court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, a program dedicated to supporting children in foster care. Moreover, we would like to congratulate the Technology Student Association, more popularly known as TSA, as they head to the New Jersey State Conference on May 2nd. We wish them the best of luck as they represent our school.
Additionally, the Heritage Club this past month had the Apollo performance, which was very well, our annual Apollo performance. Students greatly enjoyed that before spring break. And upcoming for the Heritage Club is Heritage ceremony, where we will induct new teachers and new alumni into the Wall of Fame and the Teachers Corner. As far as student government goes, in addition to our usual spring pep rally, student government has dedicated their spring work towards a handful of events that students in the organization are passionate about, including Teacher Appreciation Week, a college merch clothing drive, a movie night out in the turf field, and our annual 5K fundraiser. Each of these events have groups of students within SGO working to plan them, helping to keep our meetings organized as we steadily approach the end of the school year. These events are a great opportunity for class governments and clubs to raise money, helping to defray the cost of school and club events.
Decision Day is this Friday, May 1st, and students are looking forward to revealing where they're headed the next 4 years. Special kudos to our Ivy League-bound students headed to Princeton, Cornell, Brown, and UPenn. Senior celebrations continue as we officially recognize the class of 2026, valedictorian and salutatorian. These academic achievements reflect years of growth, and we are so proud of the dedication shown by our seniors. Finally, AP season is almost here. While studying is getting intense, students are excited to take advantage of the new policy covering exam fees, giving everyone the equal chance to earn college credit for their hard work. With fewer than 10 Mondays to go, students are ready to bring their best and finish the year strong. That concludes this month's report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And student representatives, you may be excused since tomorrow is a school night, school day.
Thank you.
And next, we're going to have a presentation today by Mr. Anthony LaFranco for the 26-27 budget hearing.
Thank you. So this evening, the board is set to adopt the budget for the 26-27 school year. And our last meeting in March, Dr. Mucci and I gave a presentation on the details of that budget. It's since been approved by the county office. We're recommending no changes to that, so the information is all the same. And just to remind the board, our tax levy increase for next year will be 3.5%, bringing our total tax levy to 111.9 million. Due to rising costs in healthcare, we still had to make some cuts to the budget to get into that number. We cut roughly 21 positions, saving $2.4 million. All those cuts are related to our reduced student count, primarily at the middle and high school. And we also had to cut $1.8 million out of our other budget lines. We took a hard look at all our estimates and we went through and cut supply budgets where we could. The impact to the average home for Morristown will be an increase of $330.86 per year and $78.03 for the township. Are there any questions on our budget? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going into public comments. And I would like to read this to all. Before we into public comment, I wish to warn you that the meeting is not video recorded and publicly aired. And encourages public comment, it is that you be respectful, including any comments that you make about staff. The board does not endorse any comments made by a speaker, nor will the board have liable for any comments made by members of the public. The board from speaking about specific students and about personnel matters. For this reason, the board will answer any questions on these subjects. Finally, the board's policy limits each speaker to 3 minutes. You respect this policy and the time of your fellow community members by concluding your comments once you reach 3 minutes. Public comment is open for an hour or until public comments are complete, whichever comes first. At this point, I would like to invite members of the public to come forward and provide your full name and address.
Good evening. My name is Conchela Mendez. My address is 31 Norwood Road, Morristown. I'm the parent of 3 children in special education in the district and the president of CPAG. I want to begin by recognizing our Assistant Superintendent, Diana Pinto Gomez, who since joining the district nearly 3 years ago has had many meaningful impact on our community. Her leadership has brought structure and clarity to special education programs after the CABAS transition that we experienced 3 years ago. Improved partnership between child study teams and our families, made IEP meetings more collaborative with parents included in decisions, build trust with families through actions and follow through, increase autism and neurodiversity awareness through community events, our last autism awareness celebration in the month of April, and help families feel heard and supported. That leadership matters and it should be recognized and built upon. However, I'm here tonight because there are significant concerns that require transparency and board oversight. In the 26-27 preliminary budget presentation, the district stated that staffing changes have been driven by a decline of approximately 225 students in grades 6 to 12. However, what is not clear is why the rationale is resulting in cuts to K-5 special education, including the elimination of the K-5 special education service supervisor role. Even the students' needs and staffing remain substantial in those grades. K-5 continues require support for approximately 10 CST members and 37 special education teachers. At the same time, the Office of Curriculum and Instruction continues to maintain both a supervisor of STEM and a supervisor of instruction computer science 6 to 12. 2 leadership positions in the same field focus on an age group where enrollment is declining. So the question is simple. Why are 2 supervisory positions being maintained in one academic area, when the key special education leadership role serving over 900 students district-wide is being eliminated? Special education students, especially in K-5, need a strong leadership because early intervention is critical. There is also a lack of transparency regarding the new director of a special education position. Today, I received a last-minute invitation to participate in final interviews next Monday, which will not like an afterthought and meaningful parent partnership. Families and CPAC should be included early in decisions, not after the fact. Meaningful engagement requires transparency, preparation, and respect. It is also important that special education remains represented at the right level of leadership. The current structure with an assistant superintendent has helped move needed changes more effectively across the district. Any restructuring should clearly explain whether it strengthens or weakens special education's voice at the leadership table. This combination of cuts, limited transparency, and lack of stakeholder engagement creates real concerns about stability, consistency, and long-term planning. And let's be clear, special education is not discretionary. It's a legal obligation that requires stable leadership, clear structure, and special oversight. Whether these arguments, the risks are real. Inconsistent IEP implementation, staff strain, delayed progress, and most importantly, impact to student outcomes. We're not here to propose change. We're here to ask for responsible, transparent decision-making. Today, we ask the board for 5 actions. Explain the rationale for eliminating the K-5 special education supervisor role. Provide transparency on the new director of a special education role. Share a clear organizational structure showing how it aligns with the assistant superintendent model and supports students with diverse learning needs. Assess the impact on the student services, early intervention and compliance, and formally include CPAC in future decisions before they are finalized. We believe in partnership, but partnership requires transparency, and right now that is what's missing. We also want to ensure that special education in this district is led with stability, clarity, and collaboration. Because special education is not an item to just, it's a commitment we're legally and morally obliged to uphold. Thank you.
I was taking notes, so I apologize if I missed some of the things that you mentioned, because I know we were over the 3 minutes and it went kind of quickly. So I'll also stay after the meeting to more fully address some of your questions. But I want to first say the reason that you received an invitation from CPAG a little bit later was I missed a letter on your email, and there must be somebody who has the same email without the first letter because it never bounced back. So when I didn't get your response, I resent the email. That was just a mistake on my part on an email address. We have a tremendous commitment to our special education students and to all students. I want to thank you for recognizing that you see increased collaboration and recognition of programs that were not serving our students that were replaced that you mentioned at the opening portion of your comments. We do have a clear rationale for the change in administrative structure. As Mr. LaFranco mentioned, we had 21 positions, including 4 administrative positions that were cut. And when we looked at the rationale for the 4 administrative positions, basically all of us are going to be doing a little bit more than we were this year, and issues have been reassigned. So some of the positions that you mentioned are going to have additional responsibilities in the curriculum area. And when we look to make adjustments in the budget, we look at models that were previously successful in the district. So there will be a supervisor who will be responsible for K-5 special education. However, the model that the district functioned under for quite a long time was 1 director and 1 supervisor, and that was roughly with the same number of students. It's a big conversation, so I'd invite you to stay at the conclusion of the meeting, and I can also take your comments in writing, and the 5 areas of rationale, I can give a more detailed explanation to the 5 points that you asked, but our goal is to be transparent. Happy to chat with you tonight. Happy to also visit CPAG and go over this structure. And in interview season, where we're looking for a director, that underscores our commitment to 1 dedicated administrator in the district for special education and nothing else. So I would hope that we can have a conversation together, and after which time you would see that our commitment to special education is incredibly strong, and I can answer the questions of the group in more detail.
Well said. I will add that it was very thoughtful to have a dedicated director of special education position. That was something that was thought a lot about. And that's what will be happening. Okay. Any other public comments?
My name is Rudy Simic. I'm here tonight on behalf of my daughter Corinne and representing my granddaughter who's currently in the hospital. And my daughter thought this was important enough for me to voice her opinion on this matter. Dear members of the Board of Education, I'm here tonight. Oh, Spencer Drive, Morris Township. That's where she lives. I'm here tonight because I'm compelled to express my concern regarding the proposed reduction in funding for special education services within our district. While I understand the difficult decisions that come with budget constraints, I urge you to carefully consider the real and lasting impact these cuts will have on students who rely on these essential supports. As a parent, I have seen firsthand how transformative these services can be. My 11-year-old daughter, who is on the autism spectrum, has benefited tremendously from the support she's received here in Morris School District, both academically and emotionally. It has taken advocacy and persistence, but much of the success comes down to the incredible people who step up every day. Right now, this is a well-oiled machine, as I've seen in my 8 years with my daughter, that my daughter has been in the special ed system here, and that's because of the people. Frankly, things what most of all told about 2.5 years ago during a period of poor transition planning that left my daughter along with others throughout the system struggling on their own. The abrupt dismantling of CAVAS, a program cut for special needs, disrupted her learning, left her feeling isolated, and took a toll on her mental health. That experience still concerns me, as I fear we would face similar changes again. I want to recognize individuals like Diana Pinto Gomez, whose dedication and compassion were instrumental in helping my daughter transition to a safe and supportive new school environment. Dr. Pinto and the staff at Normandy Park School demonstrated exceptional intervention, care, professionalism, and commitment, making a lasting difference in my child's life. It's hard to imagine that level of support being compromised. Decisions about funding are at the core decisions about priority. I respectively ask that you prioritize the needs of our most vulnerable students and preserve the services that allow them to succeed academically and emotionally. Investing in special education is an investment in the well-being and future of our entire community. Thank you for your time, for your volunteer services, and your thoughtful consideration in this matter, the Simic family and Collins family. Thank you.
Thank you for your time and comments. I hope that your daughter feels better soon. Sure. John, I just want to be clear that while there a reduction of some administrative and teaching positions, there is nothing in the budget that indicates any reduction in services or any reduction in programs for our special education students. So no impact on the classroom, elimination of, as you're seeing in other districts, the reduction of classroom aides, teaching assistants in a way that would impact program. But again, I will be staying after the business portion of our meeting here to chat with anybody who is interested informally, and I'm keeping a record of all of the questions and certainly can provide some detailed answers in a mailing to our families. So thank you.
Tara Sotolongo, 27 Edge Hill, Morristown. Good evening. My name is Tara Sotolongo, and I'm a parent of a special education child in this district. I'm not here tonight with structure or a lot of data. I'm here as a parent. The comments around trust and transparency really resonate with me significantly. I have experienced mistrust in this district previously. Several years ago, under different leadership, I was not heard. I was told something in the 11th hour that appeared to be a decision based on budget, not my child's needs. After that, my guard was up, as you can imagine. I held this for several years, but the district made changes. They brought in leadership, bringing in Diana Pinto Gomez to strengthen leadership and presence in special education, specifically driving clear communication, more collaborative approach. I began to feel that guard come down again, and the trust started to grow. Trust that my child mattered, trust that my voice mattered, trust that we're not navigating this alone. But the trust is fragile. And when I feel like there's no transparency, then we lose this trust again. Key roles are removed without clear explanation, again, in advance. Families not being included in the process and us not understanding what the changes are for, the trust begins to break. So families like mine, it can be frustrating and a bit unsettling. I'm asking you as a parent here today, please protect the progress that has been made. Please ensure stability in special education. Please include families in these decisions that directly impact our children. Because at the end of the day, all we want to know is that our children are supported, understood, and given every opportunity to succeed. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, Sherry Flowers, Bishop Court in Morris Township. Good evening, members of the board. My name's Sherry Flowers. I'm the parent of a child with an IEP in the Morris School District, and I'm here today to express my strong support for Diana Pinto Gomez. and emphasized how important we as CPAG feel that she be able to continue her role as Assistant Superintendent and Director of Pupil Services. When Diana first joined the district, I'll admit I was skeptical. She stepped into a challenging situation following the dismantling of the CABAS program, and at times initially relied on technical definitions such as co-teaching that differed from what we were used to. However, Diana has distinguished herself with her willingness to learn, listen, and evolve. She's worked closely with CPAG, generally hearing parent concerns and taking meaningful action to address them. Her position in the school has allowed her to do so. For example, when families expressed that 40 minutes a day of in-class support for reading or math were not sufficient, she responded by increasing the support to a minimum of 60. Some classes, there's actually room for them to be more. This has made a huge difference. When it became clear that students' social emotional needs were not being addressed adequately, she developed and implemented a comprehensive social emotional learning curriculum for grades K through 5, one that I've personally seen make a positive impact. She actually met with us several times, went over the curriculum, had us give feedback, and made changes based on that. Beyond program changes, Diana consistently shows up for families. When a family is struggling, she's the first one to make a call, to reach out, to offer support. Above all, Diana cares deeply about the students in the district. Her leadership reflects not only professional competence, but compassion and commitment. Eliminating her position, especially replacing it with one which we would imagine would have less authority to make an impact, would be a significant disservice to our students, families, and the Mars School District as a whole. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Carrie Lago Marcino, you may know her daughter Vienna is undergoing chemo treatment. She was not able to make it tonight. Would the board be okay if I read her letter, or do I need to have someone else read it? If that's more than 300, I can have someone else read it.
No, it's not that. It's about reading for someone else. I don't know what.
She would be allowed to do it if everyone else goes. If
Yeah.
everyone else goes, then she could come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll come back after. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's reading.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. My name is Jackie Vega, and I am a parent of a child in the school district. I want to speak about something that is harder to measure, but just as important: trust and community connection. In the past, many families felt disconnected from the system. Communication was limited, and it was difficult to know where to turn to for support. In the past, many families felt disconnected from the system. Since Ayana Pinto Gomez joined, that has changed. We have seen increased community outreach and engagement, greater visibility and support through events like the Autism and Neurodiversity Awareness Initiatives, a stronger effort to meet families where they are with care, responsiveness, and action. Families talk to each other, and what we hear consistently is there is finally a sense that someone is listening and following through. That trust is not easy to build, and it should not be taken for granted. When decisions are made without transparency or without including CPAG and families, that trust is at risk. We are asking the board to ensure that the progress we've made in building a stronger, more connected special education community continues through transparency, stability, and partnership. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Would you like to? We're just making sure that anyone else who wanted to speak, the opportunity to speak.
Okay, so Carrie sent this letter. She thanks everyone for listening. So dear members of the board, my name is Carrie Lago Marcino, and I'm a mother of 2 children in the district, one of whom has an IEP. I'm writing to express my deep concern and confusion regarding the recent changes in the positions, particularly the creation of a new director of special services, a role at a time when, from a parent perspective, progress feels finally within reach. My son's early years In my son's early years, he attended the CABES program, which was truly an exceptional model that focused on supporting the whole child. When the program was quickly dismantled and students were returned to their zone schools, it created what can be described as a sink or swim environment. Students went from a highly supportive 2 to 15 teacher to student ratio to a 1 to 22 classroom with only 40 minutes of support for ELA and math. The lack of meaningful support needed for these children to succeed in that setting was alarming. It was felt that our CABES kids became an afterthought. It was after these changes that Diana Pinto Gomez brought into the district and was brought into the district, and her impact has been significant. Under Diana's leadership, everything has begun to feel more structured, collaborative, and purposeful, not only through her own efforts, but through the team she has built and guided. She took the time to personally observe my son in his classroom, understand his needs, and work towards meaningful solutions. From the beginning, well before I became involved in CPAC, she's been a consistent and compassionate and responsive presence. Diana has shown unwavering dedication not only to special education families, but also to ESL families within the district. That is why the decision to create a new leadership position and eliminate others is extremely concerning. Just as there is a growing sense of stability and collaboration between the families and administration, these changes introduce uncertainty. It raises concern about lack of transparency in how and why roles are created and eliminated. It is difficult to understand when things are finally moving forward in the right direction for our children. My overall concern is not the addition of new roles, but also the potential elimination of positions that directly support our special needs community. We are a large district, and reducing supports will inevitably place more pressure on teachers and staff, while causing our children to feel again like less of a priority. The level of inconsistency within the district has been difficult for our children. My son has had seven different case managers since entering the school district. It has been incredibly challenging for a child to feel understood and properly supported when the individuals responsible for advocating for them change year after year. Diana has spent the past 2.5 years actively listening to families, acknowledging concerns, and taking tangible steps towards improvement. That kind of progress should be protected and built upon, not disrupted. I'm deeply concerned that the possible current budget decisions may be unintentionally overlooking what our children truly need in order to thrive: consistent, knowledgeable leadership and appropriate support within their learning environments. Our children deserve stability, advocacy, and a district that prioritizes their success. I urge the board to carefully consider the impact of these changes, particularly on those most vulnerable students in our district. The progress that has been made has been meaningful and should not be jeopardized. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Carrie Lago Marcina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
I'm Christina Barone. On Mount Campbell Avenue in Morris Township. I have 2 kids in the district. One has an IEP since she was 3, and my son's in the process of getting a IEP, both on the spectrum. I am expressing my deepest concerns regarding the recent proposal cuts to the special education budget and decision to replace staff members who have provided outstanding support to our students over the couple of years. Special education services are essential to the success, safety, and emotional well-being of students who rely on consistency, skills, and compassionate support. The current staff members have built strong relationships with the students and I'm also in special ed. The roles, contribution, positivity to the students' progress, replacing staff who have provided their values over the multiple years, raised serious concerns and continually of care the quality of service provided. Budget cuts to special eds do not only affect staff, but they also directly impact students who already face significant challenges, stability, familiarity, and trust, and compassionate to affect their educational progress. And frequently changes can be disrupted and harmful to students' outcomes. I respectfully ask the board to reconsider the budget decisions and staffing changes. Please explore alternative solutions that preserve essential services and retain experienced staffs who have made meaningful differences in our students' lives. I'm sorry for how I read. I actually graduated high school on a fourth grade reading level, and that's why I'm strongly about this, because the district failed me and I don't want to fail my kids. So it took me a long time to get where I'm at. Thank you.
All set.
Well said.
Thank you. Anyone else? If no one else, we're going to close the public comment section of the Board of Education meeting. And now we will do board committee reports. First, we'll start with curriculum. Meredith, would you please?
Okay. Good evening. The curriculum committee met on April 15th. We started with approving field trips as is customary, which you will see on your agenda tonight in Ed Matters Motion 2. Proud to report we're nearing 200 field trips so far this year. Among the exciting trips, a couple of fairly new additions include a trip to Mount High School for a workforce development fair and a sharing opportunity for juniors interested in the CCM Advanced Manufacturing Program. Both of these trips highlight our efforts to expand our career and technical opportunities for high school students. Next, we approved a law class as part of the community school, which you will see in Ed Matters Motion number 3. Ed Matters Motion 4 reflects changes to our summer programming previously discussed. In HR Motion number 6, you'll see a job description for a reading specialist at FMS. The primary role of this position is to work with students who are more than one grade level behind in English language arts. We discussed this position during the committee meeting and the intended impact on student achievement at Frelinghuysen. There were several other informational presentations during our committee meeting. We reviewed staff reductions as part of tonight's budget motion. We discussed the current status of 2026 curriculum writing. Committee members requested a spreadsheet highlighting specific updates for each curriculum document in August to facilitate our understanding of the rationale for each change. We also had a presentation on winter benchmark comparisons, so the committee could compare 2026 winter results with 2025 results to better understand progress towards goals. Additionally, Ms. Kennedy, pre-K to 12 supervisor of English language arts, presented on the supports we're putting into place this year for the students mentioned above previously. Pre-K and kindergarten teachers will visit one another in order to give teachers firsthand look at pre-K classrooms and vice versa in order to strengthen classroom practices and smooth the transition from pre-K to K. We had a lot of informational presentations, which was fantastic. Administrators also described the formation of a pre-K to 2 technology study committee that will be examining the impact of technology use on early childhood learners and plan to develop a research-based, developmentally appropriate recommendations to guide instructional practice, resource allocation, and district policy. Last, we touched upon a recent NJ.com article highlighting local districts' NJSLA scores, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to follow up with the committee or the superintendent. Special thanks to Matt Criley, the Director of Elementary Education, for always facilitating informative meetings. Our next meeting is a couple days from now on Wednesday, April 29th.
Thank you, Meredith. And next, finance, Linda.
Thank you. We met on Monday, April 20th. One of the things that occupied a lot of our conversation was a major driver in our budget challenges to this coming year, having to do with increases in our health benefits plans. We had a presentation from Brian Riley from Centric Benefits Consulting, who is our insurance professional. And he highlighted that this impact is market-wide. It's not just our school. It has to do with hospitals and providers having renegotiated pricing. The market is so volatile. In fact, we had many companies who actually declined to quote because they weren't able to even meet the numbers that we already had. The net of it is the state plan is going up by over 50% this year for districts who are in the state plan. That's a big bullet to bite. Our own provider, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, was in the range of 17%. Others were between those two. And we, with a lot of hard work on the part of Anthony LaFranco and Brian Riley, were able to come up with a proposal for the 26-27 school year that will have us examining the possibility of switching plans to Cigna from Horizon. There's a lot of work for us yet to do. We have to talk with our bargaining units about this possibility, and we are required, of course, to provide equal or better than for all of our employees. But we're excited about the possibility that we're going to be able to get some control over this situation and offers a good plan for everyone who's working for the district. Anthony already spoke about the fact that we're approving the 26-27 final budget. It's motion 20 on page 40 of the agenda, in case you want to look at that. And as he mentioned, the tax levy, which is at 3.5, is because we have a statutory exception due to the healthcare increase. So this doesn't require voter approval. It's something that the state allows us to add because there's nothing we can do about it at this point until we finish the negotiations with another carrier. We are also adding to our benefits, dental and vision capability for our employees, which will be at no cost to the district. And we are adding an opportunity for parents to pay technology fees electronically through PaySchool. We'll set up a new account so they have an opportunity to do that directly, in addition to the other payment options that we already have available. From a transportation standpoint, we twice a year practice bus evacuations. The spring ones are underway. We also are on schedule to receive 5 new 29 passenger vans from a new vendor, VanCon, which is a vendor based in the United States. They were ordered on October 1, are currently in production. And those of you who heard me talk about bus deliveries before know that sometimes it takes a year, 2, or even more to get the last few years to get things in because of supply chain issues. Everything's on schedule. We also are selling 5 of our older 54 passenger buses, and we expect to make over $150,000 on those. We do a lot of in-district trips that are not just the to and from trips for school, but also for sports, bands, day trips, K-5 special trips, and so on. So in March, we did 119 of those. Total so far in fiscal year 26 are 728. So our bus transportation folks are always busy. In addition, we provide support for schools like Assumption and Morris Plains. Also these extra trips, and that has generated in this fiscal year almost $69,000 for us. We have a number of surplus items that are listed in the agenda on, excuse me, I have a from here. The surplus assets or business matters motion 8, you'll find those listed on pages 33 through 35 in the agenda. We're also looking at completing some rate contracting, business motion 7, page 33. This is for cable vision, light path, network switches, battery backups, and so on. And we'll be implementing a recommended meal increase of 15 cents per meal category, as recommended by our food service provider, Plumptonian. And then there's a number of other bids that we're looking at, which includes second phase of tree planting, security systems, boiler repairs, refuse removal, plumbing and so forth. So lots of work this time of year in our finance department, and we thank the entire staff under Anthony's leadership for getting us to this point. And we're actually very happy with where we ended up in the budget overall. It was a lot of hard work to get to that point. Our next meeting is going to be May 4th.
Thank you, Linda. Human Resources, Alan, please.
Good evening. What we discussed in our meeting recently was the revised organizational chart for the District of Direct Reports to the Superintendent. One to highlight is that we expanded the role of our Director of Human Resources to an Executive Director of HR, taking on some really important focus work that needs to be governed singularly. But what that does is free up capacity for Dr. Mucci to really have personal attention in areas that are particularly of importance, which is we heard tonight. We still will have this Director of Special Education Services reporting directly to Dr. Mucci. And so we wanted to make certain that we didn't dilute her capacity by having too many direct reports. This way, I think we have more focused attention so that Dr. Mucci can give time to those things that are most critically important for achievement of our students. That's it.
Thank you, Alan. For policy, Beth?
Yes, sure. So the policy committee met on April 17th. We had 3 policies for discussion as noted in the agenda and minutes. Specifically, we looked at 5830, our student fundraising policy. Essentially, we're looking at a global reining in, perhaps is a good word, and clarification of our fundraising practices. So in doing so, we had discussed and looked over a very first redraft of our policy and regulation. After much discussion, we had decided that Dr. Mucci is going to be meeting with our building principals to discuss recommendations for the processes, including guidelines for athletics, boosters, HSA, possibly different measures for elementary as opposed to FMS and MHS. So more investigation to be done and more discussions to come as we continue to work on this policy. Then we had 5516, the use of electronic communication, recording devices, and internet-enabled devices. Woo. This policy was revised with additional state mandates, which really did not impact our already thorough and successful policy as it stands today, which was great. So that has been reviewed and approved for first read this evening. Then we took a look at 5111, eligibility of resident, non-resident students. We just had to put in a little addition with regard to clarification related to our specific pre-K requirements due to our funding. That has also been reviewed and approved for first read this evening. We had then for our normal review, we had 14 total policies that we went over. You'll see that the first one, 6113, was tabled for further investigation. We'll get back to that, but the rest were reviewed and approved for first read this evening. As always, we took a look at our district and individual school count reports as of March 27th. And our 5K section counts where we had a brief discussion on our trends in incoming Morris Plains class sizes. And that just about does it for the highlights. Our next policy meeting is on May 29th.
Thank you very much, Beth. Next, we have negotiations. Melissa.
Yeah, thanks, Vivian. So we started negotiations meetings with our administrative team on April 15th, and things are progressing as expected, and our next meeting is tomorrow. And that is all I have to say on that.
Thank you. And governance, Katie?
Yes, well, we're all there at our retreat, but just except one, but you do have your new snazzy copy of the governance book, which we will be reading as a committee, but invite you all to join us. And we'll follow up as we go along with that. Also drafted, and thank everybody for the thoughtful conversation about goals and where we want to go as a board. So at our next governance meeting on May 8th, we will be just finalizing the language of the goals that we all discussed. And obviously decided upon the new order in hopes that we can both make committee or sorry, presentations available to the public and hear public comment after those presentations. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Katie. And before we move on to business matters, Tina, is there a statement?
Oh, did you have it?
Or any?
No update from Morris Swings.
No.
We meet tomorrow night, so no.
Right.
As appointed representative of the sending Morris Plains School District to the Morris School District Board of Education, I would like to clarify that my votes on tonight's business agenda items will relate only to those items that are identified as applicable district-wide to grades pre-K through 12 or to high school grades 9 to 12. I am abstaining from voting on any agenda items pertaining solely to the elementary and middle schools grades pre-K to 8.
Thank you. And Linda, would you please?
Sure. Minutes, motions 1 through 4.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? And Anthony, could you please call the roll?
Mrs. Agu,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
Yes.
Ms. Pilipchuk,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiota,
Yes.
Mrs. Wall,
Yeah.
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Moving policy motions 1 through 4.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I actually just had a question for motion to the 5516 use of electronic communication, recording devices, etc. So in the policy, are we saying, or you noted no significant changes, but are we saying that high school students will not be able to use their phones during the school day, like for lunch?
No, things are gonna remain as is. We were able, I think there was enough pushback, right, Anne, on the proposals from the state that we did not need to impact our current policy in really any major way whatsoever. So you won't see any changes in like the day-to-day.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So then Anthony, could you please call the roll?
Mrs. Agu,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
Yes.
Ms. Pilipchuk,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiota,
Yes.
Mrs. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Moving educational measures, motion 1 through 4.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If none, Anthony, please call the roll.
Mrs. Agu,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
Yes.
Ms. Pilipchuk,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiota,
Yes.
Mrs. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Moving pupil services, motion 1.
Any discussion? If none, Anthony, please call the roll.
Mrs. Agu,
Abstain.
Mrs. Cole,
Recuse?
Mrs. Davidson,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
Yes.
Ms. Pilipchuk,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiota,
Yes.
Mrs. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Moving human resources, motions 1 through 37.
Second. Any discussion? If none, Anthony, please call the roll.
Mrs. Agu,
Yes.
Mrs. Cole,
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
Yes.
Ms. Pilipchuk,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiota,
Yes.
Mrs. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Moving business matters, motions 1 through 26.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If none, Anthony, please call the roll.
Mrs. Agu,
Yes.
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Mrs. Davidson,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
Yes.
Ms. Pilipchuk,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiota,
Yes.
Mrs. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Murphy,
Yes.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes. Okay, I think we covered every business matter. Any new business from the board? New business? If not, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
So.
Yes,
I
yes.
second.
Yes, yes. So I'd like to, yes. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and good night.